Hello, everyone. It has been a while, but we are back. And apologies for the delay, but we have no other excuse except we've been flat out, which might sound weird, but as the restrictions have eased and with the nutrition program kicking off the way it has, we've been pretty busy, which has been super exciting for us. Less exciting for avid podcast listeners, but good news, we are back and we will be back more often as we just settle into this new normal, I guess. I'm sure everyone's sick of hearing COVID normal and new normal, but here we are, 2020. Welcome, Dan.
Thank you.
So I put the call out yesterday on our social media platforms, across our groups and Instagram for some questions. And there has been a pretty consistent theme come through. And I guess we can briefly touch on it before we get into them. But the theme has largely been people in a funk, how to get out of the funk and get that motivation back. I think it's fair to say across the board that in lockdown 1, everyone was pretty good. It was sort of like it was new, in a weird way it was exciting, like it was sort of this new project and we were going to spend all this time at home and not have to commute and work from home, all that fun stuff.
Workouts were different. Like, I think
it was a change.
Whenever something changes, it can be quite exciting at the start and then that wears off.
Yeah, and then lockdown 2.0, I mean, even the weeks leading up to it, there was just a sense of dread. Like, everyone was like, oh, it's coming. And I think that dread sort of carried over into the actual lockdown and hurt everyone's motivation to do things that would positively benefit them. Anyways, that's my little spiel on that. So we've painted the picture. Question number 1. Hi, Nikki, if you're listening. Hope you're well. Help. Each night I go to bed telling myself that I will wake up in the morning and do a workout. In brackets, I really do. Each morning I wake up, but I'm not motivated to do the workout. What can I do to get myself out of this pattern?
Oh, I love it. So just a couple of quick tips straight off the top of my head is set your alarm earlier. So obviously, if you're planning to do it in the morning and you've got work and whatever, and you know you have to be out by a certain time, you need to change what happens in the morning. So you need to be up earlier. So set your alarm. Also, one thing I find really useful is getting your clothes ready. So getting your workout clothes ready as soon as you wake up, you see them and you put them straight on.
Yeah, just minimizing as many obstacles as possible in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, motivation is great. Thinking you're going to do something is great. But like when we wake up in the morning, I don't think anyone wakes us up and goes, woo, and really feels like doing a workout. Like
I can think of a couple of people, but they're rare.
Yeah, very, very rare. So
yeah.
What you need to do is optimize your environment to make you do that, whatever behavior it is you're looking to do.
One step further than that is take the pressure completely off. So it's not like, okay, you wake up in the morning and your motivation's low because you look at the workout and it's 25 minutes of hard work, half an hour, however long. It's like, all right, the hardest part is actually getting started. We know that. So let's say, all right, I really can't be bothered, but I'm going to put my shoes on and do a warm-up. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. If I want to stop after the warm-up, I'm done. Cool. Most people, when they get through a warm-up, they're more than likely like in the zone, ready to go. You got your heart rate up a little bit, you're nice and warm, and it's like, all right. But if you're still feeling flat then, walk away. That's all right. You've already done 100% more than you did yesterday. And then the next day you might be like, all right, I'll do the warm-up again. And then, all right, I'm going to try and do a set. I'm just going to do 10 squats and a push-up, whatever it is on the day. And if I'm really hating it still, I'm done. You get through 10, like you just slowly build momentum. So motivation always comes on the back of action. So if you take the action, then the momentum and the motivation starts to build. That's pretty much my only tip on that, is just lower the expectations, nail something that's really easy, like make it so easy that you can't possibly fail, and then just slowly build on that.
Yeah.
Don't expect too much of yourself too soon, and then just work your way on up.
I was about to say, it's very rare that when we have suggested this to people in the past, that someone has warmed up and then not felt like doing it.
Oh, yeah. It's always misery until you start.
Yeah.
Even we're like that. I couldn't be bothered today.
Yeah.
And then
We got through it.
halfway through, I was like, this is awesome. It's like some sick way. I was just like, I was dragging my feet. It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
All right. Question number 2. How to prioritize time for yourself. Seeing as I've never really struggled with this, I'm going to send it over to Dan, who does struggle with this.
You know what? I love your honesty.
I'm pretty good at prioritizing
You
myself,
are
so I'll leave it to
very
Dan.
good. I was about to say, I think especially mums struggle with this.
Mum guilt.
Yeah,
Real thing.
absolutely. And, you've got 50 other things to do, but your health and your well-being is the priority. You need to put that pretty high on your list, because without your health, you can't complete the list.
Yeah, I was just going to jump in there and say, you might have a bunch of things to do and pick the kids up from school or do this and that and cook the tea or whatever it is. But it's like, are you going to be able to do them at the best of your ability if you're not looking after yourself? Like, would your performance improve if you were fitter, stronger, happier, like all those things? And ultimately it just comes down to like not being able to look after anyone else unless you can look after yourself.
Yeah. So we're quite lucky. I haven't been sick a lot in my lifetime. However, I did
We know
get
plenty of
sick
people who
last
have
year
been
when I had pneumonia, and I was could not get out of bed.
down for the count.
I could not help anybody. And knowing that feeling, I never want to be there again. So I do everything in my power to prioritize me, to make sure I can do all the things that I want to do and the things that need to be done. So you being a priority needs to be done. So that really is high on my to-do list now.
Yeah, so another way you can think of it is it's less about you, it's more about the people around you. So it's like, all right, if I'm going to be and this question came in from a mum and a wife. So it's like, if I'm going to be the best possible wife, mum I can be, then I need to be in, my best possible condition.
Yeah.
So I then need to prioritize my health.
Yeah. I was just actually talking to someone about this just earlier. We were talking about food, and she was saying she never cared about cooking and that kind of thing. It wasn't really a priority for her until she had her baby. Her baby is now 17 years old. That she really, and we do naturally as humans, we don't feel that need to do for ourselves as we would for others. So if we really try and get that same mentality, what would you do?
Find your motivation from people around you.
And apply that to ourselves. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, and in a more less philosophical advice, I guess, would just be at the start of the week, schedule in your exercise first. So I'm training at 9 o'clock every day. Bang, half an hour, however long it is, because if it's not an afterthought, it'll mean that at 9 o'clock, you are locked in, ready to go. You're expecting to do it and you're mentally prepared. So prioritize it not only in your mind, but also on your calendar. Hope that helps. Next question, and this is a topic in itself, so we will try and be short because God knows I can go off on a tangent. But why is permanent lifestyle change so hard?
Oof.
Okay, I'll go first, you go second.
I like how he pushed in then, guys, because he really likes this one.
That's because my advice is better than yours.
Okay.
Permanent lifestyle change is so hard because 99% of the people who try and change something permanently, they either choose the wrong thing or they make it too difficult. They don't take their time. They go from 0 to 100 and basically set themselves up to fail. So, and it's sort of that mentality the diet starts Monday. It's that sort of all right, Monday, here it comes. I'm not smoking, I'm not drinking, I'm not eating Uber Eats ever again. And it's it's not realistic to expect to be able to do that stuff. It's all right, just pick one thing at a time. Extrapolate it over a year. It's all right, this time next year, that is 52 weeks. If I choose one small thing and nail it every week. And it can be super small. It can literally be like, I don't exercise at all. I'm just going to walk around the block every day. If you do that every day for a week, and then next week you choose something different. I never drink water. I always drink Pepsi Max, which is just phenomenal beverage. And it's like, all right, rather than 10 cans of Pepsi Max a day, I'm going to have 3 and I'm going to drink water. Like, it's just small changes like that, week on week, build the momentum, and that's how it becomes permanent. Don't try and do too much too early. That's why permanent lifestyle change is hard for a lot of people. Anything to add?
Oh no, you're so good and you have the best advice. So, is there any
I feel
need
very
for me
strongly
to,
on that one.
Is there any need for me to be on this podcast at all? Maybe we should just call it the B podcast.
I threw you a bone by inviting you on it anyway.
I know. No, absolutely, you're right. So, like, people do have that all or nothing mentality, and not only that, at the first sign of a speed hump, people will often stop.
Yeah,
okay.
It's not only the all or nothing mentality. It's like, imagine if you've got a giant rock and you're just chipping away, trying to break it up. Like, you just go little by little, just little chips. Don't try and hit a home run every Monday.
So it's all good. So let's go back to what you were saying about the task week on week. So the first week you were doing walking. The second week you tried to do the Pepsi Max, but you couldn't. You couldn't do what you set out to do.
Pull it back to the walking. Start again.
Okay. So like, don't stop, guys. That's probably the key there. Like, it's not easy. Like, if you think about life, like, always look at the big picture. You know, if we stopped every time something got hard, we would not get anywhere.
Just on the stopping as well, like, it's something that have, the accountability of a coach. Like, with our nutrition program at the moment, I just had a client who weight loss is the goal and they plateaued for a week, which is like
normal.
We know as, I guess, relative experts that it's completely normal. It's not, it's not a perfect linear graph, but this person was flat, and like, we understand completely, like, you're trying hard and then to not get the reward in that, in that isolated
7
day period. It's tough, but
especially if you've made change that you thought would lead to really good results.
And it's like, we just needed a little bit longer, and then sure enough, like, we chatted it through, and I explained that it was normal to flatten out a bit, but if we just stick fat for a little bit longer, we can expect to see the result, albeit slightly delayed. And sure enough, next week, bang, drop again. And I guess, like, the message is, previously that might have been cause to stop. That might have been, I've been doing so well and then I didn't get it. Oh, stuff it. Whereas having that, that person in your corner can really help.
Yeah, having people in your corner is a really big one. I always say to my clients, my nutrition clients especially, is tell people what you're trying to do.
I sent you a quote, it's not a quote, it's a fact. If you write things down and tell someone, you are 90% more likely to achieve the goal.
Yeah, so like
90%.
People want to help you, especially people that care about you.
Yeah.
Of course, they will do everything in their power to assist you.
They'll probably do it with you.
Exactly.
Well,
so
what
like,
are we doing
let people know. Don't let your goals be a secret and something like you feel like you need to hide until you achieve it.
Yep.
Because most likely you will achieve it a lot quicker with their support.
I think a lot of the time with that, it's a pride thing as well. Like, admitting that you want to change might also then be construed as admitting that you're not 100% happy with where you are currently. But I think...
Are we ever? Doesn't everyone strive for progress?
I think so. So we do. But yeah, I think, like, the sooner you're able to come to terms with that...
Well, never in my life have I met someone and they've gone, yep, my life's perfect. I'm happy with everything and I just want to stay right here forever. It's
often the people who you think have the perfect lives who are the most unhappy as well. But we digress. So anyway, permanent lifestyle change one small thing at a time. Make it so easy that you can't possibly not do it. And then as you get more and more confident, you can make it progressively harder. What was your advice again? I have a mental blank.
At the first sign of it.
Yes.
The speed hump.
Yes, at the speed hump, just dig in and just go for a little bit longer and the tide will turn.
And number 3 would be let people know what your goal is around you. So that support environment.
Start an Instagram fitness blog. Get going.
That'll positively influence your journey.
Yeah, 100%. All great advice, especially mine. All right, next question. Question 4. Should I train, work out when under stress? And this is, again, quite a broad one, but let's just pretend it's the normal stress. Let's just pretend it's like the day-to-day 2020 stress. So nothing crazy, but, like just the rigors of day-to-day life.
You're not dealing with a severe traumatic situation.
Yes. 100% unequivocal yes.
Yeah.
100%. You should definitely train when you're stressed.
9 times out of 10, you will feel less stressed by the time you finish.
Oh, you'll feel fantastic. Like, I'll use this story. So, like, this has been a weird 6 months, it's fair to say. And, like, just when I feel like it's starting to become, like, a bit like I'm going to snap and, like, William will do something that wouldn't normally get me annoyed, or, like, you know what he does? He's slurpy drinking. So this kid's 8 years old and he can't drink out of a glass. He starts slurping, and I hate listening to people eat. It's my trigger.
From the 27-year-old man who chews his nails, and everybody has to listen to that.
I chew my nails, but anyway, this is not about me. So it's like he was slurping his drink the other day, and like I thought I was gonna snap, and but just after half an hour of exercise, I'll probably sound like a cult like preacher, but it's like it was just not a non-deal. It wasn't even a big deal. It was no deal, and it's just like I felt so much better that it was almost embarrassing how much it affected me. Just exercise, ridiculous.
It does make me laugh.
Anyway, you should definitely train if you are stressed.
Yes.
Physical stress is slightly different to like that mental stress of everything's a bit much at the moment. So physical stress might be injury or some kind of illness. Like that is way different.
Yeah.
So for today, we're just talking more about that, like, work's hard, home's hard, everything's a bit much kind of stress.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. How can I make my results faster?
You can get, like, anyone can get any result they want.
Anyone.
In a very short period of time.
I feel like we should be anyone.
In a very short period of time. Why? Like, what is your end goal? Like, do you want to lose 5K in... Actually, this is actually what someone was messaging us about.
Yeah.
They lost a whole lot of weight to fit into this dress for a wedding. It wasn't their wedding, a wedding they were attending. And they did it. They did an unhealthy...
It was a detox. Yeah, because I posed the question yesterday. Yeah.
And they looked amazing. And apparently it was their most liked picture on Instagram for that year.
Which is a win in anyone's language.
Exactly.
Yeah.
However, that wasn't sustainable. So what is your end result? Are you trying to fit into that dress? Are you trying to do it in a healthy manner? Or are you trying to make a move to a healthier lifestyle that is maintainable?
Yes, so sustainable results are typically slower.
Absolutely.
I think it's fair to say.
Like, I could go on OptiFast tomorrow and like I could lose a whole heap of weight. However, do I want to be supplementing my meals for the rest of my life?
Yes. You've talked me into it.
No.
Yeah. So let's assume that this person is doing most things well and like, eats good quality foods and like just wants to speed up the process. Like, all you have to do is just increase the intensity of the change. So,
add something in.
Broad example is, all right, so if I'm eating a little bit less and I'm in a bit of a calorie deficit and I'm losing a little bit of weight every week, essentially, if I want to speed it up, I need to increase my calorie deficit, either through exercise or through eating less.
Exactly. If you train 3 times a week, train 4 times a week.
Yeah, so a small little change like that. But the problem is that the larger the calorie deficit, like the faster your results come, the harder it is. Like, the more strain it's going to put on your lifestyle. You're probably going to be a bit cranky, a bit hangry, not sleeping as well, not training as well. Like, it can become a bit of a detractor from everything else. So it's sort of about finding your sweet spot. So how can I get the results I want without it being a net negative across my whole life?
I was about to say, people often get caught up with that end goal and with unrealistic timeframes.
And they forget about how miserable the process was.
They forget about what is it costing them?
Yep.
You know, is it costing you time with your family? Is it costing you sleep? Is it costing you happiness?
Yep.
Like, it's hard being hungry.
Oh yeah.
Like, people underestimate.
That's why with our nutrition clients, we try not to have them too hungry.
Yeah.
Like, knowing that you will be a little bit strained is normal, totally okay. But if you get to the point, it's like, God, I'm starving all the time. It's like, all right, we've gone a little bit too far.
Yeah.
Yes, you will get fast results, but if you want to talk about motivation, like, ask me how your motivation is 3 days into a detox. All you want to do is crush a pizza and chocolate.
Yeah. Despite
Probably losing 3 or 4 kgs, which we would consider to be a win, right? Not really. You know, like, it's sort of about the faster your results will be, is like the more intense you're willing to be with the changes. Put simply, we'd need more information from that person about what they're currently doing before we could make a really specific change.
Yeah. Obviously, guys, this is all very general.
Yeah, it's all general. Quick one for you. Can I lose weight in one specific area?
Ooh, no.
We wish.
I know.
No. Weight loss is like trying to empty water out of a pool. Like, you can scoop out of the corner to try and make the corner smaller, but the water's going to come down all over. So
yeah. So body fat percentage as a whole, guys.
Yeah. Spot gain, absolutely. If you want larger arms, pump those curls. But spot reduction, unfortunately, doesn't exist. Oh, right. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Very close to my heart, and I'll ask you on this.
Oh, goodness.
This is off Instagram. It's a bit of an in-joke with one of our clients.
Oh, I think I know what one it is.
How to get the perfect school drop-off body.
Honestly.
Can you tell the people what the drop-off body program is?
This is the rubbish you need to listen to if you have a personal training session with Ben.
So the perfect school drop-off body is just to leave those parents' jaws on the floor as you drop your kid off.
Honestly.
Just got to train and eat well.
You're obviously not a good parent. You're too focused on yourself at school drop-off.
Just got to train and eat well. All right, next one. This is probably a better question. Apologies to that person who sent in the last one. We'll talk about it on Thursday. It's obviously a goal of ours. All right. Can you overtrain, and what are the signs?
Yeah, I like this one. Yes, you can, and here are the signs. Go, Benjamin.
Bad sleep, bad performance, lack of appetite, lack of results, maybe even like weight gain.
Yep.
Feeling like your adrenals are tapped out, like you're just flat all the time.
Yeah, like a bit fatigued.
Yeah.
So if you're doing a workout, we always say to people, it can be hard, and this is why, again, coaching is so valuable in the training sector. Like, what is the purpose of that workout? So, for example, if you're doing a 5-minute AMRAP where you are meant to absolutely, like, kill yourself, like, all out for 5 minutes, and you feel like that you can work at a capacity of 40%, that's probably not ideal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If you feel like you're running at that really low point and you can't train the way that session was intended to be, you're probably a little bit overtrained.
Yeah,
or under-recovered.
Yeah, so I was just about to make that point. With the people that we see, it's very rarely overtraining in the sense of like too much activity. It's more typically under-recovered in regards to lack of sleep, lack of hydration, like things that we can correct over
like
over a
really,
2 to 3 day period to leave you feeling pretty good. Like, I would never say that I've ever been overtrained. It's more that I haven't looked after other stuff.
Yeah, I've met a couple of overtrainers, but not many. It's more with most of the clients we see, it would definitely be
more common,
the recovery side.
100%.
And it's It really is simple things like I was watching television. That's why I didn't go to bed. It's like...
Well, the simple in theory is hard in practice.
Yeah, like I had to watch an extra episode. It's like, well, did you?
Well, we've seen some pretty, compelling TV shows.
I was about to say we're currently on a good series on Netflix at the moment.
Yeah, and we can definitely relate to the extra episode. But yeah, I would say if you're feeling like you're overtrained, before we would look at reducing training, I would look at increasing your recovery protocols, I guess. So go to bed a little bit earlier, have some salt on your food, drink plenty of water. Eat some carbs.
Food.
If you're a low carber out there, please eat some carbs.
What are you eating?
Get some protein in.
Yep.
And see how you feel in a couple of days. Last one, and we'll leave you guys. I just had to Google this one so I could give you like proper good.
Oh, you Googled. Oh, that is very reliable source. Is that where you get all your answers from?
Especially for the drop-off body. All right. What are emulsifiers, preservatives, and caking agents?
Oh, I love it. I love food. It's my thing.
So you will likely see those on the back of the packets for processed goods mainly. Just to give you an idea. So emulsifiers, and this is off the Google.
Off the Google. Why do you need to Google that?
No, well, I just wanted to make sure that it was really specific and not like I would say that
it's about mouth pleasure, guys.
What I thought emulsifiers were and what they actually were is spot on, which is good. But emulsifiers make stuff smoother, and it helps you mix stuff that doesn't normally mix, like oil and water.
Yep.
And Dr. Google backed me up on that, so that's good.
I'm glad it was supported.
Yeah, I know. I would have been embarrassed if I had got it wrong. But all good. I was like, I just want to make sure before this goes out to the World Wide Web. But yeah, so basically foods that aren't really meant to go together, emulsifiers allows you to bind them, mix them, make them taste good. So
we live in a world where we love eating processed foods. They use a lot of emulsifiers to make... So a lot of study goes into like how it actually feels, like the crunch of food, like the texture of it in your mouth.
Yeah, how the person responds when they eat it.
So I think emulsifiers are huge. So like if you think about like a protein shake, for example, would probably have an emulsifier in it to make it smooth and creamy.
Yeah, creamy, like a chocolate milkshake.
Yeah, it tastes like a chocolate milkshake, but it doesn't even have milk in it.
If you make it at home, it's got like little bits of spinach and like little powder kegs from the protein powder and stuff. So that is one to watch out for. Preservatives, I feel like over the years we know a lot more about preservatives. Like I know, like maybe 10 years ago, MSG was huge. Like they were on MSG. They were on preservatives
MSG.
Though, just as like a rough guide, like they basically help increase an item's shelf life.
Yeah.
So that it costs less, you don't have to throw it out.
Exactly. So have you ever seen like those like pictures on Facebook where it's like a Big Mac that someone stored for 10 years and it still looks the same?
Yeah.
That's because of all of the preservatives in that food.
In the ingredients, the bun, the meat.
Exactly. Yeah. So like it makes it last for a really long period of time.
Yeah.
So anything with numbers on the back, and I was talking to a nutrition client the other day, and they were saying how they purchased something, and on the front of it, it had, I forget what it was, if we were talking about calories or carbs or protein. Like, people get paid so much money in the marketing industry for you to see what they want you to see.
Yeah, they'll be like, low fat, high sugar.
Don't look on the front of a packet.
Look at the back.
Look at the back.
Nutritional information.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. They'll be like, high protein snack, 8 grams. It's like, what?
Yeah. So like
they're allowed to write whatever they want, really.
Yeah, and I was speaking to someone this morning, the person that actually asked that question, which is fantastic. So generally speaking, if you don't know what something is on the back of the packet, I'd say it's not great for you. Okay, especially if it's food, especially if it's something you're consuming.
Yeah.
Same with a number. It's something that is not natural, so it's something that has been made.
Yeah.
And it's generally to either make something taste better or to make something last for a longer period of time.
Yeah. And the last one was anti-caking agent, and that basically is something that they put in foods so that it doesn't get lumpy.
Yeah.
So same as
thing,
the
texture.
emulsifier, where it's all about being nice and smooth, creamy in your mouth, and making sure that it sets off all the pleasure receptors in your brain, making you want more.
Yeah.
That's all our questions for today.
Yeah,
so
thanks for all those.
Thank you very much for everyone who's sent those through. That was good. Some good discussion points there. We will be back next week with a topic that I haven't thought of yet, so stay tuned for that.
Honestly, you're so organised.
That's all right. We got 7 days to sort it out. I'm thinking maybe that we'll actually do it with lifestyle change. I feel like that's a good one. Lifestyle change coming next week. BD Radio podcast. Hope everyone has a good day. And if you're booked in for a session, we will see you soon.
Bye, guys.